Here are 5 tips for your nonprofit website when you're a new nonprofit. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, this is Tiffany with Boss on a Budget. So I help people start their nonprofit and help them raise money for their new nonprofits. If you need help raising money, you can join my APP society. It's called Activate Your Purpose and Profit, where I give you accountability and tips for raising money. So let's talk about your website, because your website is absolutely critical to gaining trust and credibility so people can support you and donate to your nonprofit. Here are 5 things you just need to know. First thing is, it does not have to be fancy. And I am specifically talking to new nonprofits. Now, if you're an established nonprofit and you happen to be watching this, sure, use the tips for your purpose. But this is specifically for new nonprofits, because people get caught up in the beginning with the new shiny thing. They're so excited about getting started and they know, oh, I need a website, or I need a business card, or I need this and I need that. And they spend so much time worrying about how it looks and making sure that it looks fancy, right? Here's the thing: that it needs to look professional. It needs to be organized, and it needs to be, neat, and it needs to be clean. But you don't need to worry about fancy fonts or worry about fancy animations and movements and all of that. You want to know why? Because you're going to be wasting your time tweaking that over and over again when you really should be spending your time meeting new people, doing presentations, getting out there on social media, and putting your reach out there. I want you to invest your time in the things that really matter in the beginning. And while a website does matter, the way it looks and it's investing too much time into how it looks can be a mistake. So what I'll say to you is just make sure that it looks updated. That it doesn't look like it's from 1998, because I have seen some websites that look like that. Just make sure it's easy to navigate. Make sure that people can access it well, either on a computer or a tablet or a phone. Most website builders give you the option, like when you design a page, you can see how it looks on a computer, on a tablet, and a phone. You can actually see the preview of that. So you can work around that and make sure it fits. But you just want to make sure that it's readable and it's accessible. Those are the things you need to be worried about, not necessarily all the pretty colors and all of that. You do want consistent color schemes. You do want consistent fonts, because that is a part of your brand. That is how people receive your organization. That's part of your brand personality. So yes, you want to pick certain colors. You want to have a color palette, and you want to pick certain fonts that represent the values of your organization. But once you pick them, stick with it and just don't get too loose with it. Okay. Just keep it simple and just make sure that your website is easy to understand. The second tip is know the purpose of your website. So you may be watching this and you're like, well, the purpose of the website is to let people know we're here. But there's more to it though. You want to think about, even on every page, what do you want people to walk away with? Because if you know the purpose or the objective behind each page and behind your website overall, then it can help you when it's time to write the copy. And when I say the copy, it's just the words on the page. So what some people do is they know they need a website and they actually go look at other people's websites and they just copy what they see, because they're like, well, their website is working and I guess people are visiting, so I'm just going to do what they do. But you just need to know for yourself, what's the purpose behind this website? What do I want people to do or walk away with when they read this page? And I want you to even think about that when it comes to the pages that you have, because you may be looking at another website and they have 10 pages, but you're in a different space. You may not need all of that. You may need 4 solid pages, and then that's enough. But instead, you're trying to replicate what somebody else is doing, and again, you're wasting time. So think about your about page and what you want to put about your mission and your vision and what you want people to walk away with. Are there values that are really important to you that you want to express to people who are reading? If a donor is reading, or if a funder, a grant funder especially, is reading, do you want them to see numbers and outcomes of the work that you've done? If you've done work in the past, you want to just think about, who is actually the audience that I want to target with this website. And there may be any kind of person that sees your website, but there are absolutely certain target audiences that you know that you really want to see your website. So think about what you want them to walk away with and what they need to know. The third tip relates to what I just talked about, and it is, be clear about who you are on your homepage. So as soon as somebody visits your website, you don't have a lot of time to capture their attention. Now, if they're on your website because they saw you somewhere else or they visited a social media page and they're curious, they may spend more time on your page. But if this is the first time somebody's hit your website, you don't have a lot of time to keep their attention. So my question to you is, what are you going to say so they know exactly who you are and what you do as soon as they hit the page? And the mistake I see a lot of people make is the headline on their website is really generic and it doesn't capture the essence of your organization. So most times I see headings like, help us make a difference in the community. Which community? What kind of difference? Who are you helping? What do you stand for? What do you do? Why are you in this? If I'm a donor, I'm looking for something that resonates with me, something that I can connect with, or something intriguing so I even want to learn more. But if you're putting this generic picture, right? Because some of y'all have like a generic picture with like a little heart on it and a sunset. I'm not thinking of anybody in particular when I'm doing this. This is general, so please don't feel like I'm stepping on your toes. But you'll have like a generic picture and it's like, help us make a difference. It's like, what kind of difference? What are you asking me to do? What do you want me to do? What do you want me to know? So I really want you to spend the most time on your homepage, because if people are finding you, if they hear about you on the radio and you say, go to this website, that's what they're going to see first. So what is the statement that you want to express to them that really sums up who you are and what you do? And it's probably part of your mission, but is there a tagline that people can really hear or see that will grab them and say, oh. So for example, I'm an organization that provides food in my county. And you can say, working to make sure that no family in such and such county goes to bed hungry, or no child in such and such county goes to bed hungry. Bam. Right? So instead of help us make a difference in such and such county, I know right away you work in the county, you're supporting kids and probably families, and you're working around hunger. And then I would have a picture of food, or I have a picture of, giving people food, people eating, people smiling, because you want to evoke a sense of hope. You want to evoke a sense of progress and forward movement. You got to think about like the images you use, the colors you use, because you're trying to motivate people to do more. So that was just a really quick example off the top of my head, but I want you to think about, okay, if somebody were to see that heading and then scroll down, what are the things you absolutely need them to know right away so that they are more intrigued and want to know more? The fourth thing I would say is have a prominent donate button. So let's just be real. You're a nonprofit. You need people to donate to you. And that's one of the main points of somebody coming to your website. It's not the only point. You may be using your website for other purposes, but every page should have a donate button, and that donate button should stand out. It should be the one button that's a different color. It should be the one button that maybe the color of the font is different, so that when people see the page, they see it immediately. Why am I saying this? Because in most circumstances, if you're directing somebody to your website, it's because you want them to donate, or it's because you want them to support you in one way. And you want to remind them that they have the option to give. And if somebody's reading more about you and they were going to donate, but they wanted to learn more, they may not go and hit the back button so they can donate to the link you sent them. They may well just go to your website and just donate there. And if it takes too much time to find a donate button, or if it's too hard to donate, they're not going to do it. So your job is to make it easy. Don't ever make them question where to find the donate button. Make it prominent and make it on every page. Sometimes I'll go to a nonprofit's website and there's not even a donate button even on the homepage, or it's in a menu that you have to click to see later. Now, you may have limited options on the mobile view because you may have to have a menu and a drop down in the mobile view, but on the computer, yeah, you want to have the donate button out there. You want the donate button as soon as somebody hits the page to be like, hey, here I am. In case you need me, here I am. So just think about that. Make sure that when you go on every page, first of all, that the donate buttons and the donate links are working, and make sure that they are prominent. The fifth tip I'll give you is to make sure you're listing the people who you work with. So that's the board, and it could be maybe an advisory board that you have. It could be volunteers. It could be even staff people if you are paying people. Because I want you to think about a person who doesn't know anything about your organization. They're probably coming to your website in the beginning because they want to learn more. If all they see is words, limited pictures, and if the pictures are there, but the pictures look like stock pictures, they don't look real, then how do they know that you're real? How do they know that you're legitimate? So part of what your website needs to do is convince them that you're a legitimate organization, that you're a credible organization. So of course you need to have information on there to confirm that, but it really helps when they see people. When they see people's names, when they see people's titles, when it looks like you do have a structure. Because when people see that you have a board, that means there are checks and balances. That means that there are people who are managing well, right? Because you want to have a full board so that the organization is being responsible with its finances. And the more people you have or more eyes you have on it, the more secure and confident people feel, right? So you should have information about your board. Put their titles, put a little bio on there, have really nice headshots and pictures. Make it a board activity that you all go out and get headshots together. Maybe you're color coded one day and you do a group picture and then you do headshot pictures too. Invest in that kind of stuff, because just think about the person who wants to know more about you. Think about a funder who's thinking about sending you a grant for $5,000 or $10,000 and they just want to make sure that you're legit. What do they need to see to feel comfortable? And when they see actual people's faces, and especially if it's people they recognize from the community or they recognize are in the community, they can read about them and see that they work in certain places or they volunteer in other places, then it gives confirmation that you're actually real. So those were 5 quick tips. That's not everything about a website, but I thought I would do a quick video so I could give you tips that you could use right away, that you can customize and optimize your website right now. If you need help with your nonprofit, you can visit me at bossonabudget.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.